Hello everyone, we're looking at a month of August. August is quite a frustrating month. First of all, we've got Mercury being retrograde, which basically always brings a little bit of frustrations, but we've got quite a lot of big aspects during this week, especially Mars making a square with Saturn and Jupiter making a square with Saturn as well. Bear in mind, Saturn is in a retrograde phase, so this is like re-looking at something yet again. So the month starts off with Venus making a square with Uranus on the 2nd, which is basically about how much you can take. It's all about putting some sort of boundaries, not allowing people to walk all over you. It's a good time. It's a good time to relook at something that we've probably lived through back in summer 2023 when Venus was retrograde in the sign of Leo. Maybe you were reconnecting with people from the past. You might fix some sort of problems. A square is a challenge, but it's a challenge that can be overcome, that we can overcome. So it's a good time to basically relook at a project or relook at a situation and do something differently. We can change our look. We can decide to live a little bit differently, or we might implement something completely new. On top of that, we've got a new moon in Leo, which is a very lovely aspect, which gives us plenty of energy to start something new, especially that it's making a sextile with Jupiter. The fact that we've got Mercury retrograde and Jupiter is in Gemini, which is a Mercury ruled sign, we might try something and might not work straight away, so we might have to relook at it. Nevertheless, it's a good time to start a new cycle, especially that will grow into something much, much, much bigger over the period of next couple of months. So we will see probably the first results within 6 months' time. However, it's a time to move, to take action, to come up with an idea and move forward. Venus is moving into the sign of Virgo. Venus in Virgo is in its detriment sign, so it's not very it's basically quite weak in general. So it's not the strongest. It is a female sign. Nevertheless, think about the fact that Venus in Virgo is all about, Virgo is quite practical, quite judgmental. It puts order in things. Venus is all about love, connection, whereas Virgo takes us away from people. It starts to fix problems rather than just connect with people. On top of that, it's all about looking at things. We might look at things that are older. We might try to look into things that are from the past, or we might like old stuff in general. So antiques or something like that, we might be looking at. Our clothing style can change. We can be much more judgmental about people's looks, but this is a very lovely time to fix problems within your health. So basically we can get stronger, better at doing health routine, changing a health routine, making changes to that. I don't know, starting a workout, or maybe starting a new health regime, or going on a diet. Or basically fixing health problems like teeth, or basically fixing something that you've been struggling with, maybe skin problems. Mercury is going retrograde, so we will be experiencing some delays, frustrations, but this is a very good time to work on a project. Remember, Mercury in retrograde and then in a shadow period, which it will be till the 11th of September. It doesn't take away things. It basically asks you to fix something, reprogram, relook at something, reinvent. Maybe it's a time to move certain things or change certain things. Again, this starts off in the sign of Virgo, and it's going to stay in the sign of Virgo, I believe, till the 12th or 11th of August. And then it's going to be transiting through Leo. So up until mid-August, we are looking at our health again, at maybe changing something within your work, reconnecting to people from the past, from your workplaces, or from the places that you used to visit on a regular basis. It's a good time to fix health issues, and it's a good time to put some sort of routine into your everyday practice. It's going to be quite influential, especially for Virgo rule sign, which is Mercury ruled sign, which is Virgo and Gemini, but it will also be very important for the signs like Leo, Taurus, and Capricorns as well. because a lot of those things that are happening during this week, and we will actually see a lot of those results during the end of the year, which is when we've got Mercury in Sagittarius, and that's going to be during the Capricorn phase. But on top of that, we've got Pluto moving towards Capricorn as well. So there's a lot of other things that will basically push us to look at Capricorn as well. Sun is making a sextile with Jupiter on the 7th. So it's all about motivation, about breaking free, doing something active, maybe realizing something about your work, starting something different, maybe passing an exam or breaking free of something, achieving something. This is a very good time to start a school, a project, a college, to start something to do with work. On the 14th, Mars is making a conjunction with Jupiter at 16 degrees. Again, this is about fun, about living, about doing something important, about taking action, about moving forward, being a little bit too active. Remember, Mars is always an active strategic sign. With Jupiter, it can be all over the place. Bear in mind, Jupiter is in Gemini, which basically is quite logical, but at the same time, it might not see the whole picture. So we might be all over the place, especially the fact that Mars is making a square on the 16th, again with Saturn. So we might see that there are some sort of misunderstandings, issues. We will have to relook at jobs. You might go back to something that took place back in April. Back in April, when we were having an influence of Mars and Saturn during that time. We will be having another aspect which will be more positive for Saturn later on in the year. So that can actually start us on something bigger, which will be taking place at the end of September, which is the Mars trine Saturn on the 30th of September. But for now, we have to relook, redo, change, maybe reassess our work, or basically get rid of something that isn't working. Mercury making a square with Uranus, another one, so it's going to make another square later on when Mercury moves forward. So this is about misunderstandings. Maybe it's time to let go of something, not do something that we shouldn't be doing. Maybe it's a time to readjust something again. As you can see, we've got a lot of changing and squares that basically ask us to fix things in a different way. And then on the 19th, we've got a full moon in Aquarius. Venus making a square with Jupiter, very optimistic. Venus making an opposition with Saturn, very realistic. Jupiter making a square with Saturn, growth opportunities, and the Sun making a square with Uranus, breaking free. And obviously the full moon in Aquarius, that's all about being free. So this is about starting the cycle of the 9 months. So we will probably see all of those results once Jupiter goes out of the sign of Gemini. But for now, this is all about moving forward, maybe seeing some sort of results. There might be some sort of changes to the women's health or health in general, or body or women's rights. On a mundane level. However, we might also see that we have to probably change something in how we act with people, and what sort of people we let into our world. It's all about putting some sort of boundaries, maybe, to movement in a way, Jupiter making a square with Saturn. But at the same time, it's all about putting a structure into your growth. So this is a time when you are growing, you've got some sort of ideas, you want to see some sort of results, you want to be optimistic, but at the same time, you have to be quite realistic as well. So this is a time when we have to, yes, try something new, defeat something old, change an attitude, relook at something from a different perspective, and move forward. It actually gives us all the beautiful growth opportunities, but at the same time, it requires us to take action as well. The Sun is moving into Virgo on the 20th, so we will move from the fire energy to earth energy, making us a little bit slower. On the 24th, Mars is making a sextile with Mercury, so we might have good information, positive information coming through. We might actually see that something that we've been working on is actually becoming visible. Venus is making a trine with Uranus on the 27th. Remember, we start the month with a square between Venus and Uranus, and then we're moving into the phase when it's actually making a trine. So we might actually redo, fix, or maybe change our relationships. We might notice that our relationships are getting better, stronger, that things are getting easier for us in a way. We might notice that we are getting some sort of good news after the whole month of waiting. We are actually getting a reward, a helping hand from the world. So whatever we've been dealing with throughout the whole month, when we had to readjust, relook, rethink, this actually gives us a little bit of a fresh air, especially that the next day Mercury is moving direct in the sign of Leo. So we might notice that all the projects that we've been thinking about, they are starting to look a little bit more tangible, a little bit more realistic, and we can start moving forward. Venus is moving into Libra, giving us plenty of diplomatic approach. It's all about relationships. Our relationship with others will get easier, better, stronger. We will have the need for love, the need for beauty. Venus will obviously manifest better financially as well for us in the sign of Libra, so we can see some sort of improvement, especially the day after we finish the month with Venus making a trine with Pluto. Pluto going back, we're being in a retrograde phase, Venus moving forward. Basically, we can see that something from the past is probably fixing it, so it's being fixed. We can start a lovely cooperation with somebody. We can work with someone. We can fix our relationships, or we can notice that in general, women gaining a little bit more, getting a little bit more stronger. We can see some financial results at the end of the month, especially that both Venus and Pluto, they can be associated with money as well. This is a very lovely month to, although the frustrations, is basically just go and get things done.